All right, great. Again, welcome everyone. We're going to go ahead and launch into our 3-hour MCLE presentation. You may ask, why 3 hours? That seems like an extraordinarily long time. The VA mandates that all attorneys are credited before it participate in a 3-hour-long MCLE. So much of what we're going to be covering tonight has been mandated by the VA so we can all complete this process. We will take a 5 to 10 minute break near the top of every hour, and we'll stop and signal that so we can all stretch, get more pizza, decimate the remainder of the cookies, whatever it takes. So let me introduce myself again. My name is Melissa Tyner. I'm the directing attorney of the Homeless Veterans Project at Inner City Law Center. Along with me is my colleague, John Kaloran, who's going to be co-presenting on a lot of this material. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you, for some reason, can't hear me, raise your hand. We really like this to be a more open format discussion. So if I'm saying something you don't understand or you have a follow-up question, please shout it out right then, and we'll make sure to address it and move on going forward. Great. All right, let's get started. So this evening, we're going to be covering 4 main topics. We're going to introduce work within the VA. We're going to introduce a little bit more about Inner City Law Center. We're going to talk about the who, right? We're going to talk about our clients. We're going to talk about the VA, the big players in the work you're going to be doing. We're going to talk about the why we do what we do and the impact it has on the lives of our veteran clients. And then we're going to spend a lot of time on the how. The substantive rules and regulations, the procedures in this work. So that it kind of gives you a sense of what we're going to be covering this evening. So our goals for the training, we want to make sure you leave with all of the tools you need to feel competent in your representation of the veterans you're going to be working with. We are going to, like I said, finish out your 3-hour MCLE accreditation process. As we like to say, if you've gone through the accreditation process thus far, you've already gotten a taste of what it looked like to work within the VA system, right? It's quite bureaucratic, a little lengthier than you would think, et cetera. We're also going to make sure you understand the 2 primary benefit systems as well as appeals that many of you will be taking on. Earlier, we circulated some materials, so I want to make sure that everyone has those in front of them. We have the basic training in VA benefits law handout. John's holding that up so folks can see. We'll be referring to that throughout the training. Of course, copies of the PowerPoint slides, MCLE materials, and I believe that's about it. So if you don't have any one of those, raise your hand and we'll make sure you get one. Okay. I didn't see any. Oh, I see one hand down there. We should also have in our stacks 2 cases that we're going to be placing here at the, you got it, good, thank you. 2 cases that we're going to be placing here at the firm. All right, so the MCLE requirements include all of these things that we will cover tonight. I just want to show you to give another broad look at where we're going to be going. So we're going to cover all of these systems within the VA. Many of them we will spend much more time on simply because they pertain the most to the clients that you will be working with. And some are just going to be a single slide that we throw in here to meet the requirement, but that we know you probably will not work on. So we will signal those for you, and that might be a moment when you can briefly check your email or something. But for the most part, we're going to be diving into the substance that really will be applicable to you as you work on these cases in the next couple of months. So to complete the accreditation, which by completion of this training tonight, you'll be fully accredited attorneys in front of the VA. In addition to that, you'll have 3 hours due of MCLE every 12 months. The first item in your materials in the document labeled Basic Training in VA Benefits Law is a sample renewal of accreditation. So a year from now, you will need to send that to I believe it's an email address listed there. You see a sample that I filled out for my own accreditation. Now, it's really important that you mark this particular date on your calendars and renew it in a year, simply because the VA will not notify you, will not tell you that your accreditation is expiring. They will simply stop responding to you. So it is vital in the course of the representation that you keep it up. Let's see here. There's additional 3 hours of MCLE required every 2 years. We will provide resources for you if you need that going forward. Many of them are online trainings that we're able to circulate. I see a question here. Nope. All right. We're good. So we've done our materials check, and I want to talk a little bit more about Inner City Law Center and what it's like to take on a case pro bono with us. So Inner City Law Center was founded in 1980 by a UCLA law graduate named Nancy Minty. She graduated from UCLA and moved down to the Catholic Workers Soup Kitchen on Skid Row and started delivering legal services to the folks who were coming in there and needed assistance. As you can imagine, somebody like that draws a lot of people to them. And slowly she began to build an organization that we now have as, 50 plus people continuing to grow. I'm happy to say we've moved out of the rusty construction trailer that we were founded in by Nancy Minty and into a facility on 7th and Central in the southeast corner of Skid Row. We'll throw up some pictures here of that in a second. We serve over 2,000 clients, including veterans, to other tenants in the community, all sorts of folks every year, and have other expertise as well in broader benefit systems such as Social Security, in slum housing type cases. We represent a lot of tenants, et cetera. So I want to show you a quick picture of the exterior and interior of Inner City Law Center. We have this building that's actually a converted like produce warehouse. So it was a big refrigeration unit many, many, many years ago. As I like to say, we were industrial chic before it was chic. A lot of our clients, this area and this where we are at 7th and Central downtown is a bit easier to access for them, both because of public transportation and where they might be living at a shelter nearby. And so we open our offices to you. Coming here might be a little bit more difficult. Public transportation isn't always easy. It might be a bit more intimidating than a setting that they're more familiar with at our offices. So you are welcome to have meetings with clients, whatever we can do to help facilitate that relationship that you're going to be growing in the next few months. If needed, we do provide primary malpractice coverage on all pro bono cases. In our veterans cases in particular, when somebody takes on a case pro bono, they become the sole counsel of record. And that is in part because of what the VA requires. They will only recognize one counsel at a time. It's a bit of an antiquated system. So that means that although it sounds like you're going to be working on teams and in competition, which is even better, the VA will only recognize one attorney counsel from each of those teams. So that person will need to be designated when you file your official forms to represent a veteran. The clients will sign, yes?
Does that mean only that one person can sign each motion or document, and that person is the only person that can appear in the event that there's an administrative hearing?
So yes to the first part, and in part the second. You could go into an administrative hearing with the accredited agent and folks from your firm as second chairs, what we might call, or backups. But the accredited person has to be there and sign. You will all be accredited, but only one of you can be, the VA will only recognize one person at a time as representing the veteran. Yeah. So you could sub in pretty easily if you needed to. It's just the filling out of a very simple form, and that's that. So if somebody was moving on or ill that day, yeah.
Said I can come take that administrative hearing. She just needs to fill a piece of paper out, and then she can go in and appear for me.
Client will need to sign, and that's that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's happened a few times and hasn't been too big of a deal. Yeah, good question. The client will then sign an engagement letter with your firm, assuming I missed a step in here that we've cleared conflicts, and that case will become a part of the work here. Let's see here. So after the conflicts have been cleared, we have an initial meeting, an engagement letter. We'll, of course, have a meeting with the client where we kind of have a warm transition, a warm handoff with the case, and then we'll continue working together. At that point, the case will fully transition to you. So the firm here, will be in charge of maintaining consistent contact with the client, developing a legal strategy, all writings and filings, and Inner City Law Center will be in the role of providing technical support to you as you move forward. So we're always around to assist in determining merit, strategize about upcoming briefs, really any level of technical assistance we can provide for you, we're happy to do that. Great. So now I'm going to transition here to John, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about the veteran population overview, a little more about the VA, and we'll keep going into this first hour.